Let me tell you about a man who was supposed to die, but instead became one of the most successful people alive today. In 2012, James Clear was a promising college baseball player when disaster struck. During a routine practice, a baseball bat slipped from a teammate's hands and struck him directly in the face. The impact was so severe that his nose was crushed, his eye socket was fractured, and doctors weren't sure if he would ever see properly again. As James lay in that hospital bed, with his face completely bandaged, unable to see, unable to play the sport he loved, he made a decision that would change not just his life, but the lives of millions of people around the world. He decided that if he couldn't control what happened to him, he would control what happened because of him. And what he discovered during his recovery became the foundation for one of the most powerful books ever written about human behavior, Atomic Habits. But here's the twist. James didn't recover through one massive change or one heroic moment. He recovered through something so simple, so small, that most people would have ignored it completely. Today, I'm going to share with you the exact system James used, the same system that helped him become a best-selling author, a successful entrepreneur, and someone who influences millions of people worldwide. These are the 4 laws of atomic habits that can transform any area of your life. Let me tell you about a woman who wanted to read more books but couldn't find the time. Sound familiar? Dr. Catherine Milkman, a professor at the University of Pennsylvania, was struggling with the same problem millions of us face. She wanted to read more, but after long days at work, she would come home exhausted and end up watching Netflix instead. Then she tried something brilliant. Instead of trying to force herself to read at home, she made a simple rule. She could only listen to her favorite audiobooks while exercising at the gym. What happened? Within 6 months, she was working out regularly and had finished 12 books. 2 habits she had struggled with for years suddenly became automatic. This is the power of the first law. Make it obvious. The problem isn't that we lack motivation. The problem is that our environment is working against us. Right now, look around you. What do you see? If you want to eat healthier, are there fruits on your counter or chips in your pantry? If you want to read more, are books visible in your living room, or is your phone the first thing you see? James Clear discovered something fascinating during his research. We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. And the first step in building better systems is making the right choices obvious. Here's how to apply this immediately. Environment design. If you want to drink more water, put a water bottle on your desk. If you want to take vitamins, put them next to your toothbrush. If you want to practice guitar, leave it in the middle of your living room instead of hiding it in a closet. Implementation intentions. Instead of saying, I will exercise more, say, I will go for a 15-minute walk immediately after I finish my morning coffee. Be specific about when and where your habit will happen. This isn't just theory. A study of over 200 people found that those who used implementation intentions were 2 to 3 times more likely to follow through with their habits. The second law, make it attractive. Now let me tell you about a strategy that's so powerful, billion-dollar companies use it to control your behavior every single day. In the 1990s, a brilliant engineer named John Hopfield was working on artificial intelligence when he discovered something shocking about human behavior. He found that our brains release dopamine, not when we get a reward, but when we anticipate getting a reward. This discovery revolutionized everything we know about motivation. Companies like Instagram, TikTok, and Netflix built their entire business models around this one insight. Every notification, every like, every autoplay feature is designed to trigger that anticipation. But here's the genius part. You can use this same neuroscience to build good habits instead of bad ones. This is the second law, make it attractive. Let me show you how powerful this can be with a real example. Ronan Burns was a software engineer in Dublin who hated exercising, but he loved watching Netflix. So he did something brilliant. He only allowed himself to watch his favorite shows while using his exercise bike. At first it felt weird, but something amazing happened. After just 2 weeks, he started looking forward to his workouts because his brain had linked exercise with the pleasure of his favorite TV shows. He lost 30 pounds in 6 months and hasn't missed a workout since. This is called temptation bundling, pairing something you need to do with something you want to do. Here's how you can use it. Only listen to your favorite podcast while doing household chores. Only watch your favorite cooking show while meal prepping for the week. Only go to your favorite coffee shop when you need to do difficult work. But there's an even more powerful version of this law, social environment. Jim Rohn famously said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." But new research shows it goes even deeper than that. A Harvard study followed 12,000 people for 32 years and found that habits spread through social networks like viruses. If your friend becomes obese, your chance of becoming obese increases by 57%. If your friend's friend becomes obese, your risk still increases by 20%. The same is true for positive habits. If you want to start exercising, join a running group. If you want to eat healthier, surround yourself with people who already do. If you want to read more, join a book club. Your habits aren't just personal choices, they're social contagions. The third law, make it easy. Let me tell you about the most counterintuitive truth about building habits. In 2001, a group of researchers in the UK wanted to understand what separated people who exercise regularly from those who didn't. They studied 248 people for 2 weeks and discovered something that shocked everyone. Motivation had almost nothing to do with who exercised and who didn't. People who were highly motivated were just as likely to skip workouts as people who weren't motivated at all. But there was one factor that predicted success better than anything else: convenience. People who had to travel less than 12 minutes to get to the gym went 5.4 times per week on average. People who had to travel more than 12 minutes, they went only once per week. 12 minutes. That's the difference between success and failure. This is the third law. Make it easy. James Clear calls this the 2-minute rule. When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. This sounds too simple to work, but it's based on a profound insight about human psychology. The goal isn't to read for 2 minutes, it's to become someone who reads every day. The goal isn't to do 2 push-ups, it's to become someone who exercises regularly. Let me tell you about Stephen Guise, who used this principle to transform his entire life. Stephen was out of shape, unmotivated, and struggling with depression. Every fitness program he tried failed because the workouts were too overwhelming. Then he tried something ridiculous. He committed to doing just 1 push-up per day. 1 push-up, that's it. It seemed pointless, but something magical happened. On day 1, he did his 1 push-up and felt successful. On day 2, since he was already down on the floor, he did 3. By week 2, he was doing full workouts. Stephen went from being completely sedentary to working out regularly, and it all started with the smallest possible step. The 2-minute rule works because of what psychologists call activation energy. Every habit has a starting cost, the amount of energy required to begin. The higher the activation energy, the less likely we are to do it. Here's how to apply this. Want to read more? Start by reading 1 page. Want to meditate? Start with 1 breath. Want to write a book? Start by writing 1 sentence. Want to learn guitar? Start by picking it up for 30 seconds. But here's the advanced technique. Environment designed for laziness. Make good habits so easy that you can do them even when you feel lazy, and make bad habits so hard that you won't do them even when you're motivated. Want to eat healthier? Wash and cut your vegetables immediately after grocery shopping, so healthy snacks are ready to grab. Want to watch less TV? Remove the batteries from your remote and put them in another room. The easier you make the good habit and the harder you make the bad habit, the more likely you are to succeed. The fourth law, make it satisfying. Now let me tell you about the most important law of all, the one that determines whether your new habits will last or disappear. In the 1990s, researchers conducted an experiment that revealed something disturbing about human nature. They gave people a choice between receiving $50 immediately or $100 in 1 year. Logically, everyone should choose $100. It's double the money for just waiting 12 months. But most people chose $50 immediately. This is called present bias. We value immediate rewards much more than future rewards, even when the future rewards are significantly better. This bias is killing your habits. When you exercise, the immediate experience is often unpleasant. You're sweating, you're tired, you're sore. The benefits, better health, more energy, improved appearance, come weeks or months later. When you eat junk food, the immediate experience is pleasant. It tastes good, it's convenient, it makes you feel good. The costs, weight gain, health problems, low energy, come much later. This is why most habits fail. The immediate consequences and the long-term consequences are often completely opposite. This is the fourth law. Make it satisfying. But how do you make something satisfying when the natural rewards are delayed? Let me tell you about Trent Deersmid, a stockbroker who used this principle to become one of the top salespeople in his company. Trent was struggling to make enough sales calls each day. He knew he needed to make 120 calls to be successful, but he kept getting distracted and losing count. Then he tried something simple but brilliant. He put 2 jars on his desk. One jar had 120 paper clips in it. The other jar was empty. Every time he made a sales call, he moved 1 paper clip from the full jar to the empty jar. Immediately, something changed. Each paper clip move gave him a small sense of satisfaction and progress. He could see his daily progress building. Within 18 months, he had made over $5 million in sales. This is called habit tracking. The simple practice of recording your habits creates immediate satisfaction and visual proof of your progress. But there's an even more powerful technique: immediate rewards. After you complete your habit, Give yourself a small, immediate reward that aligns with your long-term goal. After you work out, take a relaxing shower with your favorite soap. After you eat a healthy meal, watch one episode of your favorite show. After you save money, transfer $1 to a vacation fund. The key is that the reward must be immediate, and it must reinforce the identity you're trying to build. But here's the most powerful part of this law: never miss twice. Life will interrupt your habits. You'll get sick, you'll travel, you'll have emergencies. The successful people aren't those who never break their habits. They're the ones who get back on track quickly. If you miss one day, make it a rule to never miss twice in a row. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new pattern. James Clear's story didn't end in that hospital bed. Today, his book Atomic Habits has sold over 15 million copies worldwide. His newsletter reaches over 2 million people. He's spoken to teams in the NFL, NBA, and organizations around the world. But none of that happened because of one dramatic moment or one massive change. It happened because of small, consistent actions, atomic habits, that compounded over time. You have the same 4 laws at your disposal. Make it obvious. Design your environment for success. Make it attractive. Use temptation bundling and social influence. Make it easy. Follow the 2-minute rule and reduce friction. Make it satisfying. Track your habits and reward yourself. The question isn't whether these laws work. The question is, will you use them? Your current habits have already shaped who you are today. Your future habits will determine who you become tomorrow. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. If this video helped you understand the power of habits, make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos that can transform your life. What's one small habit you're going to start today? Let me know in the comments below.